one of the interesting things about the regime of horizontal property is, and that's what just they call condominium, is that it specifies that this parcel of land was originally owned by Iona Peku and his wife, K.A. Kapu. And then, so that takes it all the way back to the first patent and tracks how it was owned, coming to them. And so they developed it, sold the property. The original, as you bought in, my husband's an original owner. You picked your apartment, you picked your parking stall. There was no lobby. That was built a few years after by John Golanowski. Is that true, Dick? Yeah, he was an original owner, right, John? Yeah, he was from Canada, and that's how Dick and Bunny got here. So John designed and built the lobby because, you know, the mailbox and the elevator were just open onto the street virtually, because we didn't have any fences or anything. Anybody could walk all around this neighborhood in the old days. Oh, John was over there, Carolyn's, that's good. So, so we became the Scandia 204 Makee Road, yeah, Jim? Oh, I'm taking too long? 6 o'clock, you guys are starving to death. I'll get right through this. So Makee Road, so we became Scandia Makee Road. It wasn't the idyllic neighborhood you may all think. The Waikiki jungle was right there. We all had cars stolen. People didn't really break into our apartments, but you know, vandalism and that kind of stuff still happened. But it was still a nice neighborhood. There were walk-up, low-income housing all up and down the block, that kind of stuff. Oh, leasehold conversion. Okay, I want to talk about leasehold conversion. So everything had been held in leasehold around Honolulu. In 76, or in 96, they passed a law that said that they could have mandatory conversion of residential housing. And that was upheld by the Supreme Court. And so as more and more condo owners were seeing their leases come closer and closer, they started negotiating. So we started negotiating with the owners of our property, and there were 3 basic families, most of the property held in trust from the 3 original owners, aunts and uncles of Axel. And then they were pushing through, so there was passed a leasehold conversion bill for condos, okay? So since our lessors would not come to the table with us, they would not sell to us, they originally intended to get the property back. And so there was this law passed, so we hired a company called Monarch Properties and Michael Park, who are kind of experts in that area, and started the process of leasehold conversion. And then something really fortuitous happened. The Japanese bubble burst. That's why there was nothing next door for so long. There used to be low-rise condo there, apartment buildings next door, and the bubble, they raised it and then the bubble burst, so for like 20 years there was nothing there. Well, it was fortuitous for us because our original documents said for the first 15 years we paid this amount. Jim says it was $25 a month in lease rent. Then after that, I don't know, for 10 years it went up to like maybe $150. No, that was that the one that went up to $350? Maybe that was the one. So it went up to $350, and then the bubble burst, and we had a renegotiation, and the property values plummeted by almost 50%. And many of the trustees that own our property, because it was all in trust from the parents, were living off that money, that income monthly. And when their incomes were reduced almost 50%, 2 months after we started paying them less money, they came to us and said they wanted to sell. And we'd already purchased earlier than that 22% from one of the other trustees. So we had to get this other 78%. So I think for, Dawn, do you know, was it $59,000? Okay. And we financed, so what we did is whichever owners could pay, we bought out our share. If we couldn't, the association took out a loan, and I think there were 10 that didn't buy. And so we bought that. We became the lessors to the 10 people. And then after that, they repealed the leasehold conversion law for condos. So we never had to go through the process. And yeah. And a lot of it was caused by pushback from some of the big Hawaiian trusts who owned, we obviously had a small landowner, but a lot of it was the beneficiaries of those trusts were Hawaiian people. And since they never got their land to begin with, they didn't necessarily want it ripped away from the trusts who were giving, providing largesse to them and benefits that way. So anyway, we were really lucky. So back to Makee Ailana. So once we overthrew our vicious Scandinavian landlord, who named the Scandia for his grandfather, we decided to think about changing our name from the Scandia. So my husband Jim did some research, and he came up with the idea of Makee Ailana because it pays homage to our Hawaiian heritage here, to the park heritage, and to the original name of the area. And the original Makee Ailana was just across the street from us over there, where the zoo and the parking lot are. So everybody agreed to that. We really like that. And then Jim had another brilliant idea. Every pizza delivery guy, every emergency vehicle, everything couldn't find us because we were on Makee Road. And Makee Road is just that little triangle out in front of us. And then it's across the street where 240 Makee Road is. Yeah, it ran through that lot. It came right here and went at an angle like this to that street over there originally. But the lady next door, May City was her name, was able to purchase from the city because they already straightened Kapahulu Avenue. She bought it, and so her property included Makee Road. So I just left us right here with this little thing, and we were called Makee, and the rest of Makee Road's over there, and nobody could ever find this building. So we applied to the city, and eventually we got, and both of those things happened pretty much simultaneously at the same time, that we got the paperwork done to change the name, and we got the new address. Let's see. I was going to tell you some more stuff about the past, but there was a nice newspaper article about the changing of our name and whatever, written by Wade Shirky in the olden days in 2004. Jim's picture is on this about the name change. And then I just wanted to make you guys think about, that's our past. We have our present right now. What's our future? Climate change. We really need to work on climate change. I have some nice slides that show how far underwater we're going to be. 2 feet, we probably won't be under. 3 feet, we might be pretty close. Yeah. 4 feet, we're under. 6 feet, we're way under. And so I had a nice picture of Venice for us to look at if we don't do anything. So. So anyway, that's basically it. You didn't get to see all my nice pictures, but you got to see me. Okay, thank you.
Wow!
No bad words.